Hello everyone! Last week we began the story of Baine Bloodhoof with the death of his father, Garrosh as warchief, until the world had enough and he was placed in chains. A trial in Pandaria is waiting to take place, with the accuser being Tron the Whisperwind and the defender none other than Baine Bloodhoof. Not an easy role to pick up, one that required a lot of soul searching on his part, and Garrosh he didn't make any easier. He refused to talk anyone besides Anduin Rin. And then there's the fact that the trial itself, it was not so much about getting a verdict, it was more used as a vehicle to catch up on previous storylines, get a little bit of a resolution going, and then get the next expansion on the roll. Stories like Jaina and Anduin that had a meeting with Baine and supporting his battle against Magatha, up to the trial that was not public knowledge, and now some harsh words were had between Varian, Jaina, and Anduin. Moments in the past were actually shown during the trial with a device called the Vision of Time. We actually helped create this for the Bronze Dragon Kairos Dormu. It allowed them to not only have witness testimony, everybody in the courtroom could see what they were talking about. The device also allowed Kairos to create a portal to an alternate reality. He planned to set Garrosh free, the beginning of the expansion Warders of Draenor, and as they made their escape, they also sent over alternate copies of those that were present at the trial. Kairos had deliberately selected the darkest and the most broken that he could find. Caligos, for example, he was insane. Thrall was the champion of the hated Adalus Blackmoor. Baine himself was the warchief of the Horde, and he somehow knew that the alternative, had gained the position by murdering Garrosh to avenge his own father. Now defeating them did not happen in combat. Instead, the wisdom of the August Celestials, it had Baine and the others understand that all of them, by making different choices, by walking a different path, all of them had the potential of becoming a Garrosh Hellscream. Only by accepting this truth were they able to overcome their counterparts. And like I said, the verdict, it wasn't a major deal in the book. The Celestials, they would have always chosen to let Garrosh live, so that he would continue to learn. Life is not about reward and punishment. It's about understanding, accepting who oneself is right now, in order to know what to change and how to do it. So yeah, with the Vision of Time, we see Kairos and Garrosh ending up on alternate Draenor, where the plan was to form an army and have that army stand with our Azeroth against the coming Legion. Instead, Garrosh murdered the Bronze Dragon and pushed forward with his own plans. He turned the Dark Portal red and had us follow him through it. The former warchief was eventually brought down by Thrall, while Baine, he didn't really play a part in the expansion. Instead, we took care of the threats in this alternate reality, ending with our command sending over alternate Gul'dan to our reality, which then kicked off the expansion Legion. At the tomb of Sargeras, Gul'dan opened up a massive portal for the Legion to invade the world once again. On the Broken Shore, the Alliance, led by Varian Rin, and the Hordes, not led by Vol'jin. Surprisingly, we see Sylvanas leading them. They teamed up to stop this threat before it could spread any further. Yet despite the best efforts, this was a Legion invasion unlike any we had seen before. A death trap, as it was described. The Horde, they did their very best to hold the line, while the Alliance confronted Gul'dan. But it was simply too much. Crawling on the floor, demons stabbing their warchief. The Horde could not die this day. They were forced to retreat, which some amongst the Alliance saw as a massive betrayal. In turn, Varian was forced to give his life so that his forces could also retreat, leaving Anduin to take over leadership of the Alliance, whereas Vol'jin, he listened to the spirits.
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you. Nor would I have ever imagined, in our darkest time, that you would be the one to save us. The spirits have granted me clarity. A vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand. But you must step out of the shadows and lead. You must be warchief.
Vol'jin is dead. Who among you will help me avenge him.
And avenge him we did, but not so much under the leadership of the warchief. Instead, we saw classes coming together, heroes rising up to lead the Order Halls to victory. Our adventures took us to the Broken Isles with a mission: gather the 5 pillars of creation to seal off that gateway at the Tomb of Sargeras. One of these pillars was located in Highmountain, a region named after Horde Highmountain. He's a heroic Tauren who earned the blessing of Cenarius all the way back during the War of the Ancients. This gave them those fantastic antlers. They're legends amongst the Tauren and now in need of our aid. During Alpha time, we actually had Baine join us on this mission. He met up with Mela, helping with uniting the people of Highmountain, but sadly that story was cut out. Instead, we saw Baine join us later on with a questline that brought the Highmountain Tauren into the Horde as a brand new allied race. He's been exchanging messages with their chieftain Mela, and a great feast is planned to welcome the Highmountain Tauren to Thunderbluff.
The war
Chieftain
with the
Bloodhoof,
Legion has
how about
come.
Champion join you for your
I
feast in
hope you are
Thunderbluff?
ready.
By the time dessert is served, I want their oath of loyalty to the Horde.
It shall be so, Warchief.
Your invitation was most kind, Baine. It is time for our two peoples to renew our bonds of kinship.
It is of kinship that I wish to speak. I hope that... Spirit Walker?
Leaving the Highmountain, it's quite the effect on Spirit Walker Ebonhorn, who's actually a black dragon in disguise. We know this from our adventures within Highmountain, but Baine at this point, he does not. Ebonhorn has been the Highmountain Tauren since the days of Hull Highmountain. Once upon a time, the old gods, they planned to claim their lands, but they were stopped by Hull. He imprisoned Uganef and had ancient wards to keep him locked away. Ebonhorn, leaving their land to visit Mulgore, it weakened the wards enough for the darkness to sip through. Together with Baine and Mela, we repel the old god's attack, travel the Thunder Totem itself to help out Ebonhorn and the Highmountain Tauren. But despite our best efforts, we're unable to keep Uganef locked away. For thousands of years, the darkness was held at bay. The wards stood, protecting their lands. Now it falls upon us.
Together, we will banish your darkness.
You will serve us, dragon, just as Neltharion did. Your kind always bends to the whispers.
Oh. There goes the darkness.
I did not realize that I had invited a dragon to feast with us at Thunderbluff. Had I known, I might have set a bigger table.
Only Mela and our champion knew my secret before. Now, I entrust it to you as well, chieftain.
I see no reason for anyone else to know, Spirit Walker. Let it be a matter kept between friends.
Without the swift action of Baine and this champion, all would have been lost.
Baine Bloodhoof, you have demonstrated courage, honor, and loyalty. I believe it is time for your people and mine to renew our bonds of kinship.
Bomb chicka womp
If you will have us, the Tauren of Highmountain would be proud to join your horde.
The Horde will be honored to welcome you. Let us travel to Orgrimmar and share the good news with our war chief.
And so, Mela and the Highmountain Tauren, they joined the Hordes. But of course, many out there, you quickly spotted a potential ship between Baine and Mela. A ship that the Tauren leader himself is not completely against.
Mela has the most perfect antlers. Not that I'm thinking about them or anything. Do not speak about her antlers.
Don't worry, Baine, we won't, buddy. But since he didn't join us adventures of collecting these pillars of creation, Baine, he didn't have a whole lot to do during Legion itself. Yet all the same, we were able to seal off the gateway at the Tomb of Sargeras. We even took the battle all the way to Argus itself. Although victorious against Sargeras and the Legion, the world of Azeroth did not escape the confrontation without taking some massive damage. The Dark Titan sword has pierced the planet, which makes a brand new resource pop up all over its surface.
Warchief, if I may offer a few words. It is with both pain and pride that we gather here today. Pain for many brave heroes of the Horde
fell against a terrible foe, and pride fought against all odds. We have vanquished the Legion. We bled. Now we heal. We mourned. Now we celebrate. For the Horde! For the
Horde! Warchief! A moment of your time.
No doubt Gallywix wants to push his latest money-grubbing scheme.
Rats scurry about their business.
And get eaten if they're not careful.
What is the rat up to?
He does keep sending more goblins to Silithus.
Nothing good has ever come out of Silithus.
This will change everything.
I told you!
And the Alliance knows nothing of this?
Don't worry, Warchief. I got people on it.
The blood of the Titan spirit inside the planets. It's a very powerful resource with many different uses. It could be incredibly powerful armor, an antidote to pretty much any toxin, but of course also a very powerful weapon. The Horde and the Alliance, they go after the resource, kicking off the faction war to overdrive once again. Yet at the same time, there are those that realize that fighting over the planets is all fine and dandy, but not so much when there isn't a planet to fight over. The world is bleeding, hurting deep inside, and its speaker, Magni Bronzebeard, he tries to make sure that everyone puts down their swords and focus on the healing. He personally visits pretty much every creature on the planet. The Horde is no exception. He asks the Warchief to pull her goblins out of Silithus. Their digging is doing the world no favors. Baine speaks up, assuring Magni that the Horde is willing to do the same as the Alliance. They're willing to send out teams to Silithus to help out with the healing. But he is not the Warchief. He should not have spoken out before her. Sylvanas was starting to get an idea though. She actually agreed with his plan. In fact, it would be Baine and the Tauren to organize the Horde response. Satisfied, Magni left them to go talk with the Centaur, but the Warchief would still like to have a word with Baine in private. It was the Tauren who befriended the Forsaken when they were rejected by the Alliance. For that, she will always be grateful. That is also the reason why she looked the other way when he pursued a friendship with a certain human. My interaction with Derek Proudmoore has long been known, Baine said. It was made public knowledge at Garrosh Hellscream's trial. She aided me when the Grim Totem were rebellion against the Tauren. Why does this trouble you now? That doesn't trouble me. What does trouble me is that you have continued to exchange correspondence with Enderwind Rin. Do you deny it? He was silent, but his suddenly switching tail betrayed him. Tauren were terrible liars. I have never, by word or implication, advocated anything that would bring harm to the Hordes. I believe you. That is why I've not interfered till now. But Prince Anduin is now King Anduin. He's no longer an infectual, starry-eyed dreamer. He is the maker of policy. He can start a war. If you were me, would you condone secret messages sent to an Alliance king? What will you do? Baine asked with remarkable calmness. Nothing, she said. As long as the connection is severed. A friendship between Baine and Anduin has existed ever since the prince accidentally materialized in the middle of their meeting. Now the Warchief, she's put a stop to that. Through Valera Sanguinar, a blood elf rogue who is good friends and loyal to House Rin, Baine gives her a small chip of his horn as well as a final message. For years, I've cherished our friendship. I cherish it still. But with great reluctance and for the sake of those who look to me for protection, I know the time has come when I must sever it. I will not put my people, nor you, my friends, at further risk. I still believe there will come a day where we can speak openly with the support of all of our people. But that day has not yet come. Earth Mother watch over you. The kind-hearted Tauren still holds hope that one day the Alliance and Horde can come together. But that's not what the warchief has in mind, quite the opposite. Sylvanas sees Azerite and the aftermath of the war against the Legion as the perfect opportunity to wipe out their enemy. They might be able to establish peace right now, but how long would that peace last? In her mind, time breaks all bonds. So, to secure peace for the Horde, or to wipe out an enemy that might come after her, she plans to invade Darkshore, occupy Teldrassil, drive a wedge between the Alliance factions, and then take them out one by one. She's not foolish enough to believe that the Horde would actually get behind her on this one. That is why she brings in High Overlord Saurfang. He's an honorable orc, a hero of their people, someone that they will believe to bring the Horde an honorable victory. Saurfang eventually agrees with her point of view, and he makes their plans. While the Alliance spies were led to believe that the primary goal was Silithus, they actually set their eyes on the Night Elf territory. Before they marched, Baine spoke with Saurfang, already aware of their true plans. Most of the Horde doesn't understand the goal of this mission, or why it must be done now, Baine said. But neither do I, he meant. I believe they will very soon, Saurfang said. There's an opportunity now, and there's danger on the horizon. It's best to deal with it quickly. And cleanly, I hope, Baine said. Tell me, is this your plan, or the warchief's? Mine, Saurfang said simply, and the Tauren seemed relieved to hear it. Then I wish you well. Fight with honor, friend. Loktar, Ogar.
Loktar.
Saurfang replied. Even Baine could get behind Saurfang, and their plans played out. Darkshore was invaded, the elves were pushed back, Teldrassil was evacuated, and the civilians that were still left behind, they made ready for an occupation. If only they'd be so lucky. When Saurfang rode out to check on Sylvanas, he found her in the middle of combat with Malfurion. The death of the Night Elves leader, it was supposed to demoralize them, make them bleed. That is why she sought him out personally, and Saurfang's interruption, it all but assured the kill. She foolishly left him behind to do the deed, expecting him to return with Malfurion's head. But the blow bit dishonorable, and he could not take the kill. So, the warchief, she changed her plans. This conquest of Darnassus, it would definitely rattle the Kaldorite people. They would grieve for their lost, fear for their imprisoned, and tremble at the thought of the Horde ransacking their homes. But they would not fall to despair. Not anymore. Malfurion's impossible survival, it would give them hope. Their wound would still heal.
Burn it. Burn it!
There is no honor in this. They will come for us now. All of them!
And Saurfang was right. The siege of Lordaeron saw the Alliance strike back, and honor means very little to the Banshee Queen. When thinking back to the bombing of Eramor, she didn't have a problem with the tactics used by Garrosh, more so with the timing. Now it's she leading the troops, making Garrosh look like an absolute amateur. Blight is released upon friend and foe. Fallen are resurrected to fight once more. Sylvanas is willing to do whatever it takes. While Saurfang can't believe what she's doing. Can't stand with his warchief any longer.
Honor means nothing to a corpse, Saurfang. You have the luxury of underestimating death. But it is something with which I am intimately familiar. Maybe you don't care if your people die so long as it's honorable, but to me, this Horde is worth saving. Anyone who disagrees does not deserve to stand among us.
You abandoned Saurfang to die out there!
It is the death he wanted. If that troubles you, you're free to join him. Or you can tend to the living. The choice is yours.
For the Horde.
History repeats itself as Baine sticks around for the sake of his people, to stand with the Horde, despite in his heart wanted to speak up like Saurfang did. The warchief was very smart on this one. Communications between Baine and Anduin had been shut down. Abandoning the Horde that would leave them to the mercy of the Alliance was not exactly a spot you want to find yourself in. Like the days with Garrosh, Baine's loyalty to the Horde is tested time and time again. As the war against the Alliance, it saw them seek out new allies. namely the Zandalari trolls. Their princess, Prince Delungi, had already made contact with Sylvanas, and things in her homeland, they weren't going too great. Her father might not be able to see it, but she knew that there were threats from within and without. The Horde might have need of them, but the Zandalari needed their help as well. En route to a meeting with Sylvanas, the princess was captured by the Alliance, then saved from the stockades by the Horde, and over time, as the Horde helped them out with their problems, they earned the loyalty of the Zandalari. That came with quite some perks as well, like a massive fleet for example. But the Alliance in the meantime, they didn't sit still. They planned an attack on the very capital of the Zandalari, demanded a surrender of the King Rastakhan. He refused of course, and then died in his daughter's arms.
Thank you for coming, champion. Zuldazar is still reeling from the Alliance attack. My people's faith has been shaken, and so has my own.
I too know the pain of losing a father. If there is anything I can do, please do not hesitate to ask.
You have seen firsthand the treachery of the Alliance. Let your grief be sated by vengeance against them.
This is not the time to speak of revenge, Blightcaller.
Enough! The warchief has arrived.
Go. I have much My condolences on your loss, Princess. Excuse me, Queen Telonji.
Titles mean little to me now. I must know. With the Zandalari navy in ruins, does the Horde intend to abandon us?
We do not turn our back on our allies, Telonji. The war campaign has taken an unfortunate turn, to be certain. But our cause is not lost.
My queen, reports are coming in from all outposts. The Alliance is tightening its grip. Victory is within their grasp.
Perhaps we can open negotiations with...
The Alliance slays the leader of the Zandalari, and you speak of negotiations? No. This war will not end until we stand victorious. Until the little lion kneels before my throne. Meet me aboard the Banshee's whale. I have a plan to ensure the Proudmoore family pays dearly for Rastakhan's death.
His words of peace and negotiation, they fall on deaf ears. Instead, the Banshee Queen has another plan in mind, which involves the dead body of Jaina's brother, Derek Proudmoore. He fell, defending the world against the first Horde invasion, but his body has been oddly well preserved, and now in the hands of the Hordes.
Sylvanas! What reason could you possibly have for this madness?
Derek Proudmoore was a hero to the Kultirans. They are sure to stage a rescue attempt when they learn of his fate. And once his mind has been properly conditioned, we will allow the Proudmoores to recover their long-lost prince, so he can slaughter them in their sleep.
This is too far. How many times must we forsake our honor?
There can only be victory or death for us, Baine. And death is mine to master.
What is this? Why am I? What have you done to me?
Why, Lord Proudmoore, I've given you a chance to reunite with your family. You should be grateful.
Please, help me. I don't know what's happened. What's been done to me? I remember the battle. The Orcish dragon riders. Our decks consumed by flame. I felt a blaze of agony. And then... darkness. I was dead, wasn't I? But for how long? I am not quite alive, and yet... Oh, I don't understand this. Oh, please. Yes, you please! How is this possible?
Tell me, where is my father? My mother? Jaina, Tangent. No, please, I'm so alone. Don't leave me alone.
This is wrong. There is no honor in it. Her deeds disgrace us all. We must set things right before the Horde loses everything that made us strong.
Baine begins to wonder why it was that Sylvanas was the one to be appointed by Vol'jin to be the next warchief. He warned them that many would not understand, but the spirits did whisper him a name. Baine doesn't understand it at all, to be honest. Luckily, there is a way to ask. With the aid of Talanji and Vol'jin's glaive, we make contact with the spirit of Vol'jin. Now, dying has a way of clouding the mind, and there are shadows that are keeping even Vol'jin away from the answers. To find clarity, we travel to the Lich King, Aeir in Stormheim, and Bonsamdi at his necropole. None of them can give us the definitive answer, but we do figure out that there was some source that whispered Vol'jin a name, a source that might not be the Loa, who wanted Sylvanas to be the warchief. And there was some source that brought Vol'jin's spirit back, touched by valor, as Aeir described it. More information is going to be needed. Something isn't quite right. Vol'jin is going to hunt the shadows in places that we cannot follow. Meanwhile, Baine, he's reached his breaking point again. He can no longer sit idle by, while Sylvanas destroys the honor of the Horde. Together with a hero of the Horde and Zelling, a Tide Sage that was resurrected during the Horde War campaign, he goes on a mission of liberating Derek and returning him to his sister. His old contact Valera convinces Jaina to show up to the meeting at Proudmoore, where once upon a time, more than just a city was destroyed.
Lady Jaina, long has it been since we spoke peacefully in Theramore.
Theramore is gone. You did not ask me here to reminisce.
No. I have come to return one who was lost.
Derek. My own brother. I had thought better of you, Baine. So tell me, is he the Banshee's puppet? Crammed full of blight? Is he the bomb this time?
Yes. That was the plan. But Baine took me from Sylvanas before I was twisted to her will. I'm still your brother, Jaina. For as long as stars do shine.
Why?
The Horde has a sickness in it. We wage war while the Earth Mother dies. We have forgotten what truly matters, and my heart can bear it no longer.
Sylvanas will kill you for this. And she may not stop with you.
No life is worth living if we cannot be true to our nature. I return home to take what solace I can in my family. I hope you take solace in yours.
Baine! Thank you.
Wounds of old still burn the soul, until Jaina realizes that Baine, he's trying to do the right thing. Some wondered, is this going to be similar as the time when he warned her about the coming Horde attack? That back then played right into the hands of Garrosh. Perhaps rescuing Derek is now going to play right into the hands of Sylvanas. Anything's possible, but I personally really hope not, since it would devalue so much of this very emotional cinematic, but only time will tell. In the meantime, this rescue mission, it does not go unnoticed, and the warchief, she makes quite a show of it in the middle of enemy territory.
I have troubling news. It seems there are traitors in our midst. Most of you need fear nothing. But Derek Proudmoore didn't flee to Kultiris by himself. He had help, didn't he? Zelling.
Stop! I returned Derek Proudmoore to his family. You raised him as a Forsaken, but you planned to deny him his free will, to violate his mind. I could not stand by and permit such depravity to unfold.
Thank you for your honesty.
Banshee! Are we nothing more than pawns in your game? You betray the Horde!
No. He did. And so did you. Take him.
Others will see you for what you are, Sylvanas. You will leave the Horde in ruins.
There is no place for weakness in our ranks. Remember your loyalties.
And that is where the story of Baine ends so far, with him in chains, but his actions, they do open the eyes of many members of the Horde. Some that agree with the warchief, while others, they see another tyrannical ruler, one that has to be taken care of. The rest of the story, that still needs to be revealed, with figuring out why she was made the warchief and who made it so, who was the one that brought Vol'jin back, and what is her future going to be. Will the similarities for Garrosh continue, as in a rebellion led by Saurfang, backed up by Baine, a siege of Orgrimmar with her taken on, put in chains? I personally really hope not. I really hope that there's something better in mind. That said, many do expect a change of warchief real soon. Perhaps this time it's Baine that's going to step up. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think that Baine would be a great warchief. Now, don't get me wrong, he and the Tauren are amazing members of the Horde. The heart of it, as Thrall once described them, a calm voice amidst the storm. Yet, this is Warcraft after all, and sometimes you do need to step up. Sometimes there's no choice but to face something head on, and that is where some of the Tauren, where sometimes Baine, is just a little bit too passive. Just think back to the Alliance incursion in Camp Tarajo. Instead of decisive action, Baine decided to put up a gate, and anyone that did dare to take any action, they were kicked out of their lands. Being against Sylvanas and believing that enough is enough, that's perfectly fine. It's not the first time that it happens against the warchief. Yet at the same time, instead of taking direct action, instead of gathering allies and supporters, he decided to help out the Alliance and liberate a prisoner. Someone like Baine could definitely make peace with the Alliance when someone like Anduin is the leader. They're very, very similar spirits. But what happens when the Alliance becomes more aggressive? Would Baine be able to hold it all together? I really wonder.
Why do some speak of grabbing life by the horns as if it is a good thing? Because let me tell you, it is most uncomfortable and impolite.
That said, there was this really cool moment during the trial of Garrosh, where Sylvanas, she made the mistake of saying, "Fortunately, I do not have to be mindful of what I say when all of Azeroth is watching, or else I might become as much a bootlicking Alliance sympathizer as..." Baine did nothing so obvious as roar and seize her throat. He merely stopped in his tracks, gripped her upper arms, and squeezed. He was so gentle and precise in his movements and speech when off the battlefield that she had forgotten he was a warrior, and one of the finest the Horde could boast. He could, she realized belatedly, snap her arms like brittle twigs. "I am not an Alliance sympathizer," he said in a deep, calm voice. "Nor do I lick boots." "Let it go, Baine," said Vol'jin, and Baine obeyed. "Sylvanas, Baine is doing his job, the job that I, his warchief, asked him to take on. He does it with honor, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't you go acting like there is. It might seem a bit out of place with the overall story that I told you, but I just really wanted to let you know about this badass moment. But hey, by all means, let me know who you think should be the next warchief, cause I'm really curious what people would like to see. It's going to be interesting to find out what they got planned with this storyline, what the point of the story is going to be. That is something that only time will tell. For now, you're up to speed with the story of Baine Bloodhoof. Next week, we're gonna be a little bit more classic. For now though, thank you very much for watching everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time guys, see ya!